has been likely to build indie developer playdates in Limbo and Inside. Almost non-stop since it was first unveiled, and it's clear to see why developed by Jumpship, a studio founded by Playdate's ex-CEO and Soak founder. The game adopts an approach to storytelling and gameplay the fans of Playdate's assembling duo will find very familiar. Of course, it brings its own new ideas to the table as well. After all, its director had nothing to do with either Inside or Limbo, and puts an interesting twist on the formula with some unique ideas. The end result, Sumerville, is a game that successfully captures some of the biggest trends of its sparsely popular genre, and while it does not ever reach the heights of something like Inside, it does make a strong impression nonetheless, like the games that have inspired. Each Sumerville tells its story completely wordlessly. You play as the father in a family, of for which includes a dog and a toddler living an idyllic life on a farmhouse in a relatively remote location. In the opening minutes of the game, however, an abrupt catastrophe turns their lives upside down as an enormous fleet of aliens attacks the planet and begins revelling in with its terrifying powers. Amidst all the chaos, which includes their father having masterly acquired some alien abilities of his own, it falls to you to not only survive but ensure that your family does as well. It's an incredible setup for the story because it strikes two chords very effectively on a micro-zoomed out scale: the widespread conflict and the mystery surrounding the invasion, and the aliens' true nature and purpose is a fascinating part of the story in some reliable answers that is kept interesting as you progress future by preparing in some unexpected developments and in the later hours of the game, some undoubtedly bombastic moments. Meanwhile, on a much more inventive level, the story of the family and how it's struggling to survive serves as the heart and soul of summer life, and not just because you have a dog with it, though that is a big factor to go future into why or how any of those two core pillars of the game's story resonate as strongly as you do would veer a little too far into spoiler territory, which is definitely not the way to enjoy the game, but suffers it to say that the game blends those two elements very well. It also deserves props for being able to tell a completely wordless story as well as it does, which in turn means it leaves plenty of things open to interpretation. That, after all, is one of the biggest joys of games such as this one, and Sumerville thankfully is very aware of that the big question that the vast majority of people will be asking, perhaps a bit unfairly for Sumerville, is if his story the game tells is as impactful or memorable as that one say Inside. Was my recommendation would be to shoot this question straight out of your head before you jump into Sumerville. There is a very good chance that no game will be able to match the genius of Inside story and storytelling for a long time. If you ever and not once did, I wonder whatever Sumerville would be able to do so, and as far as I am concerned, it does not. Sumerville's story is juggling a lot of balls at once, and some of its core story elements feel much more poppy than games that it will be compared, which means that even though it adopts a similar storytelling style with the actual content of its story, it's trying to do completely different things. Depending on your personal taste, you might find those things to be more engaging than similar games that have come before. I personally did not, even though there is absolutely no denying that there is a lot of love here regardless of personal tastes and preferences. The situation is rather similar on the gameplay front, where Once again, Sumerville takes a familiar framework and adds its own ideas to expand upon. In the unknown tutorials, there is an IE and the focus in internally of a cinematic experience, where simple inputs and mechanics make up the bulk of the gameplay. You will be solving simple puzzles engine in some light platforming and rushing your way through the social instance set piece sequence. The latter in particular can be quite intense and quite a high octane, while lending a nice balance to the narrative side of things, which often brings the tension and extension with more entertaining storytelling tools, in addition to the simples and story-forward gameplay. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel and press like button on this video. Thanks.